Welcome, everybody, to Pick and Roll. Of course, the NBA betting show that goes live every weekday on the Board YouTube channel. Hit that like button to support and subscribe as well to catch every single stream that we do. Also, visit thehammer.bet for all of your sports betting content needs. And today, a smaller slate, but an official pick is on the way in just a moment here. Before that, let's talk about the plays from yesterday. Unfortunately, the first losing day of the week, and it came largely at the expense of a blowout in the Miami game and Jaylen Brown just not being up to his best. Pips, you want to talk about the three bets here?
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like I was sending you last night how the Miami Heat and the 76ers started. It's kind of ridiculous to know that like Embiid is probably the best player in this matchup, like between Heat and the 76ers. And 2 days ago, 3 days ago, Miami played away at the 76ers and they won. And now they are going back to home, playing at home against the 76ers, and Embiid is suddenly ruled out, and they get blown out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this bet was on great pace, 16 points in 3 quarters for Jimmy Butler. Game stays well under, even though it was a crazy shooting start at the beginning. It's like the line was closed at 215 for this game, and 15 minutes into the game, we had 241. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, what's going on here? But that wasn't realistic because the line went up while they're shooting 65%, and that wasn't sustainable. So it got back like to below, and it ended up with 215, well, very, very below our line. So the only part is Jimmy Butler not playing in the fourth. And actually, it was kind of crazy that they pulled up down to the I think 15. It's actually 16 points. They pulled down to 16 points with 5:45 left, and it was a timeout. And Bam Adebayo was back on the court, and Jimmy Butler wasn't.
Yeah, I
So
noticed Bam came back in, but not Jimmy. I don't know why, but
I
that
don't
that
think
was very
anyone
unfortunate.
in this stage of the NBA should like 16 down with almost 6 minutes left is like you can like get
Oh,
get
for
under
sure.
10 points in like almost like 50% of the game. Like that's not, and it was like crazy shoot. So actually 76ers missed like 5 straight possession after that, but he didn't score either. And if Butler was there, I think they could get back in that game. I don't know what's going on with Butler minutes this season. But yeah, it is what it is. Like this was Heat was 5 point favorite at home and getting blown out. Like no, nothing to do about this, and we are losing the place a lot like this lately due to injuries and some reverse blowouts. But yeah, nothing to do
Yeah,
again.
unfortunate there. Thankfully, end of the night was made up by Desmond Bain smashing his point line. Memphis Grizzlies taking care of business against the Rockets. So only,
We should, we
yeah,
should probably take a look. I'll do it after the show to just check our score against the Houston Rockets. I think our best win rates are like against betting against the Houston Rockets.
and probably the Jazz as well, I would suspect.
Yeah, against the Jazz, against the, and like I think it's I don't know what will be the third one. Like I know we had another one that I'm betting a lot, but can't
You
remember.
used to do Charlotte quite a bit, but now
Yeah,
since they've switched, you stayed away from them. But
yeah.
despite that, 1 and 2 day winning week so far. Let's try to keep it going today. We have one official play on the way, trying to build on the 98-77 record on the season. 4.8% ROI. Let's keep it going here. Let's get into the official pick for today's show. Going to Golden State here, playing against the Los Angeles Clippers. And we've got two of the key players in this matchup. Jordan Poole over 20.5 points with Kawhi Leonard over 19.5 points for minus 115 odds at DraftKings. Pips, take us through why you wanted to bring this into play.
So I watched the last game between these two, and Poole had comfortable 28 points, and Kawhi was just shooting the lights out and scored 33. And if you take a today's matchup, nothing changed really. Like only thing that changed is Clippers got Russell Westbrook, and Kawhi will have some easier shots tonight. Like that's it. And with Russell Westbrook starting, backcourt defense of the Clippers got worse, so it's easier for Jordan Poole. So if they had the success in the last game and like easily cover these lines with 28 and 32, 33, they are in better, both are in better spot tonight, and Warriors are actually playing at home, so it shouldn't be a blowout. It should be a close game. And with everything that said, like I think Clippers can cover Klay Thompson way better than they had a chance against the Jordan Poole. So if Klay Thompson is not in a good matchup, who else is there to score? Like Wiggins is out, Steph Curry is out, so it's down to Jordan Poole to shoot like 20 plus times a night and score. And like if you take a look, like 17 games without Steph Curry this season, he scored 20 or more points in 15. If you take a look at the games with 30 plus minutes, and he will get 35 minutes tonight because like their offense is like Kevin Looney and Draymond Green. They are not shooting. Don't the Vincenzo is not shooting, so it's like down to Clay and Jordan Poole to like score 50% of the Golden State Warriors points. And if Jordan Poole doesn't go over 20 and Clay is in a difficult matchup, I don't see it. So it's down to Poole to be very aggressive to attack. They struggle against driving guys like him that seek for the contact. He'll get to the line. He will score some threes, and he'll score inside, especially with Zubats in drop coverage, especially with Plumlee in drop coverage. And if they go small and they switch everything, Poole is like his quickness in first step is trouble for their size. And I love matchup for both of these guys. I was trying to decide between Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, but as I said, like who will guard Kawhi Leonard? Like Draymond Green. Like good luck. I mean, like he's amazing defender, but I think Kawhi, like if they put Draymond Green on him, it will be single cover, and I love Kawhi Leonard in single cover, and especially with Westbrook creating for them, it will be way easier to get into good spots for Kawhi Leonard.
I've been very impressed by the Warriors lately. They've won 3 games in a row. Not the stiffest competition, but as you and I thought they'd kind of fall off with Steph Curry out, they are now up into the 5th seed. Very tight, very tight. Can still fall, but been impressed with the Warriors lately. And Jordan Poole has, though he shoots a lot and turns the ball over a lot, he's been scoring and helping them win games. So I think that's been impressive. But that was your official pick for today's show. We're going to go into discussion topics for today. We're about to talk about James Harden, which was a request on Twitter. If you guys have any requests for today's show, any little things you want us to talk about, please let us know. We'll also discuss, somebody asked about finals matchups, which we'll get to as well. But let's start off with James Harden. So, Pips, of course, a Rockets fan, and he's a Rockets fan, correct me if I'm wrong, largely because of James Harden, and you're a big fan of James Harden. But we spoke about this, I think it was a couple of months ago now, the prospect of James Harden returning, and you weren't really sold on it. But what are your initial thoughts on there's some reports coming out saying that he would be comfortable going back to Houston. How would you feel if he returned to the Rockets for next season based on where you are in the rebuild?
So I will just say like two things, two standpoints. As a Houston Rockets standpoint, I love it. Like, give me James Harden back. Like back. Like he wanted out when teams was terrible, and he was in the at that age that he wanted to compete for the championship. And I don't like have any grudge against James Harden wanting out. Like he gave this organization so much, and like the focal point of the game, like amazing. Like I love James Harden as a Houston Rockets fan, and as a James Harden fan, and the standpoint of that, I don't want him getting back to the Houston Rockets, to a rebuilding team that's currently in a terrible state and shape. I want James Harden to compete for the championships till over the next 2 or 3 years. I still think he can do a lot and help teams a lot, and he's winning type of player. No matter what everyone said, I watched almost every game of James Harden over the last, I don't know, 10 years, probably, like for sure eight. Like, and he's amazing player. He's floor raiser, floor, like he is just unbelievable, and I don't want to watch him with this awful Rockets team.
How do you think he would fit with the team in this sense? You've got Jalen Green, you've got KPJ. I think you'd be more than comfortable replacing them. But how would you feel about him taking, I guess, touches away from the young players on the team?
This James Harden that's leading the league in assists will have no problems fitting that
Right.
team at all. And but the thing is, I don't think it works well with Alperun and Sengun having the ball in his first possession. I think, but it will be great for Jalen Green. It will be great for Jabari Smith.
Yeah.
It will be great probably for the next pick. I don't know. Like, if he gets good, like, we don't need James Harden. Like,
Right.
Victor, if we get Victor, I mean, like, we don't need James, but that could work greatly. But yeah, like, it depends on the pick. I would say, like, the James Harden thing is like strongly dependent on where we land our pick at
Right.
this year draft. So yeah, I think it's up to that. And as I said, I would love to watch James Harden back to the Houston Rockets as the Rockets fan, but as a James Harden fan, I don't want to see it, at least not over the next 2 years.
I'd be curious to see if Harden became the best player on a team once again, if he could get back like to similar, not like 36 points per game, but like 25 plus points per game in those areas again. I think it'd be interesting to see him as a first option. Another
I,
piece of rock. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think James Harden is more than capable of doing
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Like,
me too. Me too.
he is like, I think this is I need to check it, but I think this is the most efficient career of his life. I think, like, of his entire career.
Oh,
Not quite
picking his
sure, but
spots.
yeah, he's that. He's taking his pass. He's shooting 40% from three. Not like, because he's not getting as much to the line, so his true shooting percentage is not quite the best of his career. It's one of the lowest at 62%. So there is a stigma, like, around the league, and like in the media and in the with the fans and everything, that James Harden is an inefficient player. Like, James Harden is one of the most efficient players of all times. Like easily. Like, people don't understand. Like, uh, field goal percentage, they are comparing it, like they're looking at field goal percentage. But modern NBA is all about true shooting percentage, and James Harden, career-wise, is 61% true shooting percentage. That's like, I think, 5% over over the league average over the last 10 years. Like,
Yeah.
that's unbelievable. And he was doing so efficiently with scoring like 35 points a game and having 10 assists. Like, this all-time great player, like all-time
Yeah.
efficient player. Like, I don't know, like, you can check, like, who is like one of the best opponents. Like, I was like, good. Just, I don't know if you ever like compare these numbers. I love to do it. Like, I did it so many times. But if you take a look at Kobe Bryant efficiency career wise, it's 55% true shooting. Like,
Mhm.
that's I Kobe is like one of my favorite player, and it hits only 55% has true shooting. Like, James Harden is at 61. Like, that's unbelievable.
I think what is like most insane about James Harden's numbers, I think the field goal percentage number is taken out of context too much in the sense that, like, James Harden, let's take his highest scoring season, 2018, 2019. He took 13 3-pointers a game. Of course, his field goal percentage is not going to be near 50. He's taking 13 3-pointers a game, where if you're shooting like 37% or better, you're shooting, I mean, especially for that number. And in that year, he shot 37% from three. He took 13 threes a game and hit 37% of them. Like, that is insane. But so much of his shooting comes from 3-pointers, which are obviously less efficient than 2-pointers. So of course his field goal percentage is going to be, even at 44%, which it was that year. Like, that's ridiculous for somebody shooting that much from three. And I think a lot of the time people just look at straight field goal percentages, which does not completely tell the tale of a player. And
Yeah,
true
and
shooting is a good stat. Effective field goal
yeah,
percentage as
but
well, good stat.
if you take a look for some like example, like James Harden is career 51% from two, and Michael Jordan is 51% from two. Like, just
Yeah.
yeah, that I like. And also I'll say, like, of course, like this is not even questionable, but James Harden is way more efficient than Michael Jordan ever was. Like
Well,
Michael
when
Jordan
you
50,
factor in, the
yeah,
threes. Yeah.
yeah. So like, but like it's all obviously different eras, and you can't compare that. But if you look at efficiency, like point per shot taken through shot percentage, James Harden is one of the probably maybe even the most efficient player ever that scored at that clip, at that rate. Like, he is
Oh
just
yeah.
out of the, and yeah, there is always a stigma that he's inefficient when they're looking at this number. Also, I will say 37% on 13 attempts for three that you mentioned. Like, that's unbelievable, 37%. But you add this, he is shooting step backs, and he's fouled on every third. Like out of 10 shots, he's fouled once on average.
Hmm.
Even more in that year, I think. I didn't check the numbers. So I add that to 37%. Like, if he's fouled one out of the 10 times, so he's not shooting like 37%, he's shooting 43 or 44% when he's fouled one out of the 10. So like, that's like mind blowing how efficient he was throughout his career, and how efficient he still is.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the fact that he does this, and he's also like an elite playmaker, which we're seeing this season, is a testament to his talent. So definitely could make a difference for the Rockets. Let's talk about another Rockets player. You wanted to bring this up. You're a big fan of Alperun Sengun. If you guys, anybody here has followed my YouTube channel for a while, I was a massive fan of Sengun going into the draft that he was selected in by the Rockets. They traded up to get him at 16, I believe. And we're seeing how talented of a player he is. He actually has passed Nikola Jokic, made some NBA history here. Alperen Sengun passed Jokic for the most assists for a center before turning 22. Sengun, after 129 games, has 405 assists. Jokic, in the same amount of games, had 402 assists. But Sengun is still 20 years old and doesn't turn 22 for another 500 plus days. So you're obviously watching more Sengun than I think anybody here. Is the talent for real here? Do you see a high ceiling for this player?
So the most ridiculous part of this bet is he overtake Jokic while they didn't use him properly, like 90% of the games.
Yeah.
Like, I think his passing is better than Jokic was when he came to the league. Like, for real. Like, that's like, maybe hot take, but as someone that watched both of these guys, I would say it's not at all. Like, Shengun had some flash, but like some unbelievable. Like, if you like look at compilation of Shengun like assist, you can make like video of 50 unbelievable passes and assists. And also, he's playing on a team that he'll make unbelievable pass and they'll miss more than any other team in the league. So it's crazy to this Houston Rockets team, and they are not playing through him as much as they should. Sometimes not playing through him at all, and he's like unbelievable guy. And I think the future is also. I think he's one of the best post-up players, post-up scorers in the league. Like, I think there was number. I didn't check it for quite some time, but at the time I was checking. So post-up points per post-up and efficiency, I think he's like 90 percentile over there. So
He's so good
yeah.
in the post.
So if you let him one-on-one, he cooks anyone, like anyone. And if you help, he's one of the greatest big passers in the league, and he'll just hit everyone. Like, so you can't double team him. You can't let him cook one-on-one. So that's unbelievable ceiling, and talent. And I'll say people talk trash about his defense. I don't think he's terrible on defense. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's like super negative or positive guy. But if I need to rate his defense like from 1 to 10, I will say like 3. So like he's not terrible, he's not like decent, but he's somewhere in the middle. Like he has some things that he's good at, he has some things that he's bad at. I think the most important thing, he tries hard every time. Like he is like into it and trying the best he can. Obviously, sometimes the foul trouble can get him still, but I think with the right team and the right defensive scheme, he'll be a useful defender
I
in future.
agree,
In the
and
future.
it's important to remember he's 20 years old, so there is a lot of room for this player to grow still. People I think kind of underrate European leagues. You'd probably know better than I do, but he won MVP in the Turkish Super League when he was 18 years old. Like that is a good basketball country. That is a good basketball league, and he was
Yeah.
18 years old and went MVP, and then now he's
Yeah,
in the NBA and he started really well.
I'll just say, like at that time, European League was still like a bit old school, playing to the big one, big
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
playing a lot of pick and rolls, post ups, and that's where he thrived. And it's a bit time to adjustment, but it's also he was the first scoring option there, and they were just going through him. I think if the Houston Rockets were going through him way more, they will be better, and his stats will be better. Like I think Sengun is like could be this season already 20, 10, and 5 guy. Like come on,
Wow.
that's a bonus numbers. And I think he could be that while being efficient, while his team being better with playing through him. But I just don't understand Silas coaching and direction from the above him, and I just don't understand it. Whenever they try to go through him, they play the best basketball, like period,
Mhm.
and they do it so rare. Like I just don't
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what Size's future is. I know you've been not happy with him for a while. We'll see if anything happens there. But let's go to some questions from the audience here. 3 things I wanted to pull up here. First of all, Rypro 101 asks, "What is our finals matchup guess?" I believe we're the same. I think we're the same on the Eastern Conference side with Milwaukee.
I would like better to do it, easier to do maybe conference finals. I think that's.
Okay,
I don't know
so
who will win in conference finals, but I think conference finals is pretty like easy to put, especially on the East.
well, East is Boston, Milwaukee. I don't think either of us are going to be different there.
Yeah,
Western Conference side, I still like the Nuggets. I'm not like a lot of, oh my goodness. A lot of there was a panel on either NBA Today, some show on ESPN, where they said if the Lakers make the play-in and play the
I saw it.
Nuggets in the first round, who do you have in that series? All four panelists said the Lakers. What is this Lakers bias? The Nuggets, like I think the Lakers would give them trouble, but I think that's a 6-game series. There's the Lakers bias at ESPN is crazy. So let's get that
I don't
out of the
think
way.
it's Lakers bias at all. I think it's LeBron bias. To be
Okay,
honest,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, I'm a
Uh,
big LeBron fan. I've said that many times, but the Nuggets are winning that series. Okay, I think the Nuggets will get to the conference final. If the Suns are a 2 or 3 seed, then I would have the Suns. But there's a potential the Suns finish as the 4 or 5 seed and therefore play the Nuggets in the second round. In which case, that's where it becomes difficult. I kind of like there's no overwhelmingly like good team here. Like the Grizzlies or the Clippers, I would like in that case,
I
which I
don't
think.
think I don't think Denver can win 7 game series against the Suns.
Uh, well, that's if they match up second round. I think they play each other. It's the Suns. I would have the Suns. Like because the Suns are my conference. My NBA Finals matchup pick with the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm saying for conference final, I have the Nuggets unless they have to match with the Suns on the way, and then I would go with the Suns.
Yeah, I think the most difficult matchup for the Suns is obviously Clippers. Yeah, that's like throwing it to mud, and it will be 7 game series
Yeah.
for myself. Like unbelievable. Like you have Kawhi and KD matchup. You have Paul George and you have Paul George
Oh,
and
I
Devin
want that
Booker
series.
matchup. I think that will be like one of the best series of the season, and that isn't a finals matchup.
If we get it. If we get it.
Yeah, yeah, and
But
it could be possible, and I think that's like 50-50 matchup. I think Denver Nuggets against the Clippers. I think Denver wins,
me too.
and I think Suns win against the Denver pretty easily. Why?
It's just they'll
There is no way they can stop Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. So you need
yeah.
to play. You probably need to play Jokic at the level of the screen. He'll get so fucking tired, and then
Yeah.
he needs to go against the Andre Ayton, who can hold his own against the Jokic, at least to some degree. And that's it. Like,
Yeah. I want the Nuggets to do well, but when it comes to that matchup, like you said it perfectly, they're just gonna abuse Jokic on defense.
yeah.
So
So
Suns
yeah,
Suns Bucks.
it's kind of interesting to talk about the matchup because I like Suns and Clippers. I have probably Clippers. Suns and Denver. I have Suns easily, and Denver and Clippers. I have Denver. So like
You sorry,
it's
you'd have
like
the Clippers. You'd have the Clippers over the Suns.
I'll say 50-50, but just to prove my
Wow,
point, like how it's matchup based. Like it's interesting. So
wow.
like one against another, then another like three matchups from between these teams, and I have one winner in all three different kind of. So it's like matchup based.
It is gonna be crazy if the Lakers are like if they are the 8th seed, Clippers are like the 5th seed, Suns are like the 3rd seed. You're gonna be see some crazy matchups on the way. So
Yeah,
West is definitely
this
open
season
here.
playoff will be unbelievable. Like,
Yes, very
and I
excited
would
for
say
that.
like East is probably this like it will be so interesting to see Boston Celtics against the Raptors in the first round. Like
If we get
that's
that, yeah,
cool. Yeah, that's
I'm
cool. Two
worried.
switching teams that play like similar kind of defense that are very long, very strong. I think Boston wins that in 5 probably, but it will be
Yes.
interesting. Yeah, it will be interesting to see.
I
Like
think the Raptors have the chance to make life difficult for one of those teams. I don't think they'll win that series, but I think they'll make it tough.
I don't
But
think
that's
Raptors can
being
win against the Bucks with no one being able to shoot. Like that's
yeah,
difficult.
yeah. I know. I agree. Like I see a gentleman's sweep 5 games to either of those teams. All right, let's move to next piece of next question here. Best worst trade from the trade deadline. I spent 905 Yada here. Now that we're I guess we've seen how they've played out. What's your best and worst trade from the deadline so far? I think I'll go first, give you some time to think. I think best trade right now, like the Lakers have like completely, like I don't want to be like LeBron Lakers bias here, but the Lakers look completely different with Vanderbilt, who I think was underrated in that deal, but Vanderbilt looks really good here. They're just getting the shooting now has been added in, and it's just an actual proper team now with spacing for LeBron with AD, and it just makes sense now compared to what it was previously. So I honestly think that's the best trade. Also consider they only have to give up one of their first round picks to make that happen. Worst trade, tough to say at this point what looks really bad. I think what does look bad right now is Portland trading away Josh Hart. How good Josh Hart looks with the Knicks. I just remember them overpaying. I'm gonna try to find exactly what the trade was for Josh Hart, but the Knicks didn't give up enough to make this trade happen. It was Cam Reddish going to the Blazers, as well as let's see, a lottery protected 2023 pick, which came from the Knicks. Not no other pick they had. It came from the Knicks, I believe. And if it doesn't convey, which I mean it will convey, it's 4 second-round picks for next year. So not a good first round pick, and Cam Reddish for Josh Hart. I think the Blazers should
Yeah.
have gotten more. What are your best and worst trades?
I won't talk about the KD. That's obvious. For me,
Yeah.
the best, for me the best one, as I said, is the Lakers, of course. Like the best trade for them, like easily, they
Mhm.
got so much better. But as you said, like my pick would be Josh Hart to the Knicks. He gave them a lot, and he gave them the option to play AJ Barrett less. So you kind of need to love
And
that.
we saw
Yeah.
yesterday how
Yeah,
insignificant that
so
is.
I would say that, but I don't have like the worst trade. Like I don't have
Okay.
idea. Like probably Timberwolves. Like
Yeah, they probably could have gotten more for what they gave up.
they like second round swaps. I think swap with Lakers and 2 second round picks and Mike Conley. So far, not looking great. Gobert got a bit more dunks, but that's about it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
could be
Like
them. And
yeah,
final question. Brian's looking for any of your insight into the Sixers Mavericks matchup. You know, you didn't have any official picks in there, but what do you see
yeah,
from a matchup standpoint?
it's very difficult because Embiid is questionable and we can't know anything. If
Hmm.
Embiid is out, Doncic will be unstoppable. Like without size to protect, like we
Yeah.
can throw like entire 5 players on him, he'll kill them. If Embiid is playing, probably Kyrie Irving will score with his pull-up shooting against the draw coverage. That's one thing. Dallas defense is terrible, so like they probably focus on Embiid. If Embiid is playing, everyone else is over. Like Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, they'll kill them. And if Embiid is out, they'll focus on James Harden. James Harden assist with I don't know, like Maxi or Tobias Harris points. So it's all depending on the Embiid playing. But I'll say like this is the most important thing. Stats are showing that. So actually, if Embiid is out, this game is over probably on game total because they have it as slow paced game, and without Embiid and with this new Dallas Mavericks team with Kyrie, the pace will be above expected from the bookies. That's for sure. And yeah, it's all about Embiid being out or not playing. So if Embiid is in, more focus on him, entire focus on him, and they still won't be able to stop him. So entire focus on him, slow paced game, and Luka will struggle maybe, but probably. And if Embiid is out, easy driving lanes for Luka and higher pace game.
Okay, good insight there. Take that for what you can if when you hear news on Joel Embiid's availability. But we do have an official play in a different game for today. It came in the Clippers-Warriors game. Jordan Poole over 20.5 points and Kawhi Leonard over 19.5 points. That'll be the 20-plus line on DraftKings for minus 115 odds. That was your show. We'll be back tomorrow for more pick and roll. We go live every weekday on the Board YouTube channel for shows just like this. So drop a like if you enjoyed and subscribe to keep up to date with all the great content on the channel. For myself and Pips, thank you once again for tuning in. We really appreciate the support you guys give us on this channel. Let's make a great push for the rest of the season, and we'll see you tomorrow.